What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 9 Wi-Fi battle, or Series 10, sorry, Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today we are once again using the Calyrex team that I made from my Series 10 rental teams video. Really highly recommend checking that out if you haven't. It has a lot of really cool stuff, including a giveaway for how to win free shiny Pokemon. So, looking at my opponent's team, this battle we have a Yveltal, Clefairy with Salazzle, Rillaboom, and Stakataka. I mean, Calyrex is great because of the fact that we do have Draining Kiss, but I think that's something we want to have in the back. I do expect it to be Urshifu Dark. Regieleki with Wheezing is really great. Just, I want Swampert for sure. I actually really want everything. Wheezing is great. I'm going to lead Calyrex or Shifu with Regieleki and Swampert in the back. I think Wheezing is tempting, but it is a hard sell. I think Regieleki probably could have been a better lead. Arguably, I think immediate speed control is huge, but what I'm really worried about is fake out on Rillaboom. And I mean, you definitely want to bring Rillaboom, and I'm giving up a lot of my main answers to it by not having Volcarona, but obviously with Yveltal you can't really do that. So we're going to see Salazzle with Stakataka. And Stakataka probably going to set up Trick Room, and I expect Salazzle to fake out onto the Urshifu. So what I want to do is, I do have Expanding Force for super effective damage onto Salazzle, so I'm going to go for that as well as just a Protect here. I think Swampert is in a very good position to deal with Stack, obviously having super effective damage. We are going to see the Stack switch, so that's even better, especially as Yveltal is going to be the one to come out. I do expect potentially Sucker Punch on Yveltal, which makes things a little bit tricky, but hoping we can see a Fake Out go into the Urshifu slot for a... Yep, we are going to see the Fake Out come out, and I'm hoping Expanding Force will be able to pick up a pretty big KO onto this Salazzle, as we are going to see... Yeah, and no Focus Sash, so that's even better, because we are going to be up 1. We are also going to be able to get Calyrex up to +1. Obviously, the big fear here is going to be that Sucker Punch on the Yveltal, but we do also have a boost onto our Urshifu as a result of... as a result of Dark Aura. So we are in a pretty good spot. We are going to see Clefairy come out, so that suggests to me something like a Follow Me. So what I want to do is I could double switch. I think Regieleki, I feel like the Oblivion Wing is really obvious, so part of me wants to I could just Astral Barrage. I'm going to Astral Barrage and then switch out into Aleki, calling the, calling them going for an Oblivion Wing into Urshifu with the expectation that Calyrex will switch, which I'm hoping will be enough to knock out Clefairy, which we are seeing up no, no Sucker Punch, so we are going to get good damage. Unfortunately, not enough for a knockout onto Clefairy, but expecting, yep, we are going to see the Oblivion Wing come out into the Aleki, and most likely some type of some type of fairy attack as well, just to try and pick up a knockout that way. As yet, we are going to see a Moonblast into the Aleki slot, doing not that much. Aleki in a very comfortable spot. We do unfortunately get the special attack drop, and so what I want to do this turn is go for a Protect here, as well as probably a Thunderbolt. I'm thinking we Volt Switch into Regieleki to let us bring back not into Regieleki, into Clefairy to bring back Urshifu. Let's just go for a Thunderbolt onto Clefairy. I think it's low enough. And I also think that Calyrex having access to Draining Kiss puts us in a pretty okay spot. Obviously, we do have to be afraid of Sucker Punch But let's see if they go for it this turn. I think that's going to play a really big sort of role. We're going to unfortunately see a very good read with the Protect onto Clefairy, as we do see the Sucker Punch come out into Calyrex, which is very good information to have at this point. So what I want to go for a swamp into probably Swampert, and then go for... We're not seeing redirection, so I think it's fine just to go for a Thunderbolt into Yveltal, right? Because I just want to get damage. We can then try and yawn into Yveltal to put it to sleep. But I'm thinking, yeah, even if you redirect the Thunderbolt, that should still be fine overall. We are going to see a Helping Hand, so most likely a Dark Pulse is going to come out as... Oh, they're going to Sucker Punch into a Lecky. Very, very good read. That was actually not what I had expected. I want to get rid of this Clefairy. I'm going to go for... High Horsepower does more. Let's go for a High Horsepower into the Clefairy, as well as a Protect with Urshifu. Urshifu just has to worry about Oblivion Wing, and losing a Lecky without going for... what is it called? The... word that I'm trying to remember. The Electro was actually a really big deal because now it's faster, but it did switch out. We are going to see a Protect come out from this Clefairy. So at this point, Stack Attacker is slow. We can go for a High Horsepower onto Stack. I want to say Wicked Blow should KO. We haven't seen Follow Me. I think Wicked Blow will do more. No, Wicked Blow is ×4. But the fear is like now you reveal Follow Me. But we've seen 3. Yeah, there it is. But what? Stack Attacker can't really do that much. If we pick up the knockout onto Clefairy, so that's really big because we're going to be able to get a Liquidation off immediately into Stack Attacker, or I think it was High Horsepower. And if we pick up the knockout there, like that is just overall a very fantastic position. As Stack Attacker, unfortunately, is going to live. That thing is just incredibly bulky. We're going to see a Trick Room. So this is a very interesting option, right? Because of the fact that Urshifu is now faster than Yveltal, but Stack Attacker can freely go for something like a Rock Slide. So what I want to do actually is I'm going to yawn into Yveltal and Protect with Urshifu, expecting the Oblivion Wing into it. Maybe a double up, right? You try and break the Sash with Gyro Ball. I mean, you also could do that with Rock Slide for the flinch, but I care way more about flinching. We're going to see Body Press, unfortunately, into Swampert. Swampert does have a ton of defense investment, so we are able to take that as we do successfully get off this yawn into Yveltal. As we see a Foul Play, double up into Swampert, which is fine. Swampert is going to be able to recover. That Yveltal is going to fall asleep next turn, and so what we can do is we can really just put on some pressure. I think Liquidation at this point can more than easily KO Stack Attacker, and we do have a pretty safe close combat into this Yveltal, which will fall asleep. And then I think we can pretty easily bring out Calyrex to go for a Draining Kiss, and it'll really come down to when is Calyrex going to wake up. And we do manage to take Body Press. I don't think that's actually a big deal. What would be great, though, is getting the knockout onto Urshifu, because that means we get a free... Yeah, I mean, that was so much damage right there. You're probably going to Oblivion Wing, I would expect, into Urshifu. We do see the Oblivion Wing come out. Oblivion Wing up into Urshifu, which is going to knock out Urshifu, but you're going to recover nothing. That is going to give us a free switch into Calyrex onto a sleeping Yveltal, which has a guaranteed sleep turn where we can just freely go for Draining Kiss to pick up the knockout. And when I was considering the support move for Yveltal, I mean, not for Yveltal, for Calyrex, I really like Draining Kiss, particularly for the Yveltal matchup. While it's not something you see every day, I think it definitely was worth accounting for. And just given how low this Yveltal is, right, between the combination of 2 liquidations and a Draining Kiss for sure before it has a chance of waking up, like there's no way that this Yveltal can really come out of this. So we do that, and then we do have the Draining Kiss, and I think, yeah, this should very easily finish it off as they go for the Sucker Punch or the Protect. Liquidation will connect, do a significant chunk, and then, yeah, this Draining Kiss will finish it off. So very, very good game to my opponent. I think it was really scary at times figuring out what is the right play. Yveltal is obviously very tough into this team, and like Calyrex is just like, it is an inherent disadvantage, right? You have a ton of offensive pressure, but something like a Dark type really, really can stop you. And I think especially Yveltal, right? Like we couldn't bring Volcarona, which meant that Rillaboom was a huge, huge threat. And even though we were able to pick up that turn 1 knockout into Salazzle, like the game was far from over, especially once we saw Sucker Punch on Yveltal, and the fact that we didn't really utilize Regieleki nearly as much as it should have. But great first game. Let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, game number 2, and it's Ho-Oh. Very interesting team that really kind of wrecks me. We're seeing an Amoonguss, Araquanid, Stakataka, a Regieleki of their own. What is it called? A Regice, which... interesting, and a Ho-Oh. So this is tricky, especially because of Amoonguss. Calyrex, I think Calyrex is a good lead. Calyrex for sure. Regieleki, I think, is a very nice option overall. I do want Urshifu. Regieleki, Urshifu, I think, is definitely going to be is Urshifu relevant? I think it is. What? Urshifu deals with Regice. Volcarona, maybe? Volcarona. What does Volcarona really do? It gets one shot by Rock Slide. I would much rather have Urshifu. Swampert. I think Swampert's also a good option to have. Amoonguss is tricky, but I'm hoping having access to spread damage will help. One thing that does make this really tricky is due to the fact that we have Assault Vest. We can't protect Regieleki, which means that Amoonguss going for a Spore turn 1 is no, because if they go for a Spore, that means they're not going for a Rage Powder. We do have spread damage, which is really, really helpful, as we are going to see a Stakataka next to Araquanid, right? So this is a very this is a very Trick Room focused start, but also a start that doesn't really do well into what is it called? Into Swampert. So we could Expanding Force. Astral Barrage, I do expect a Wide Guard. So I'm going to go for an Expanding Force into you, and we could double up into Stakataka. Thunderbolt is neutral. What do we have in the back? I'm going to just try and get damage onto Stakataka. I do expect to see, yep, we are going to see the Wide Guard. So single target obviously makes a lot more sense. I think Stack has way more potential to snowball, especially given the fact that we do have Swampert. We are going to get some really good damage onto it as we launch off an Expanding Force onto this Araquanid. No KOs, which is... Oh, and no Trick Room either. We're just going to see a straight Gyro Ball into the Calyrex, which is fine with me, right? Because at this point, we know that Stakataka should be in range of a... what is it called? Of a high horsepower... What is the restricted is Ho-Oh. So we're still in a good position because they haven't set up Trick Room. We have a ton of pressure with a big double KO, right? We can go very easily for this, as well as a Thunderbolt into Araquanid. One thing, I mean, I guess I could have Thunderbolted into Araquanid, but I feel like getting this position is hopefully better in the long run. Because they went for the wide guard, they can't safely go for a protect. We are going to see a switch out and into a Regice, which definitely scary. But we are going to be able to get some chip on with Thunderbolt, and high horsepower is going to connect, which is great, right? And we know that the... Oh, wow, it lived on like 1 HP. That's really bad. That's actually really bad. We volt switch the stack into Urshifu. We need a Lecky around. Regice does have really good special defense, but its physical is slightly lacking. Urshifu definitely can live because of the sash. What can Regice do? I don't even know what Regice can do. Probably body press as well. We're going to see a Blizzard. They are going to unfortunately hit Urshifu. I would have much rather had them hit into Swampert instead. But at this point, like, we are in a pretty good position. We can hit through their protect with close combat. And we do have Swampert out next to against their Ho-Oh. So we can do this. We can go for a close combat into Regice. The only fear is this is a slower variant of Urshifu, so there is a chance that Ho actually will outspeed. But at the same time, we are going to be able to get really good damage onto it as we are faster, which is important. We will pick up the knockout onto this Regice, and now I mean, they can burn us with Sacred Fire. So in that regard, it is still concerning as let's see. The Sacred Fire does come out into Swampert. I think that makes sense. We fortunately don't get the burn, and I think that is a huge factor. But overall, I don't think it's going to matter too much, as we are going to see leftovers on the Ho-Oh. And so now what we can do is we know we outspeed the Araquanid, and we can Wicked Blow into Ho-Oh. We could double into Ho-Oh because Urshifu doesn't have to worry about protect. And get some chip damage. High horsepower doesn't do anything. We can double up into Ho-Oh? Guarantee the knockout that way. Yeah, because Wicked Blow will KO through, or it will hit through protect. We're going to see no protect come out from Ho-Oh. So let's see. We pick up the knockout there. And so we should get at least a little bit of chip onto this Araquanid before it is able to do anything. In worst case, we do have Regieleki in the back, so we can go for chip damage that way, as we do see a Liquidation. Interesting choice to target into Swampert. Swampert, due to that ground typing, is going to take a little bit more than I would have liked, but I think having Urshifu still around means that it's not a big deal. So we should definitely be able to wrap this one up, just given mainly due to the fact that we do have Regieleki in the back, which will make quick work of the Araquanid. But a very, very, very close, very cool game for sure. Seeing Regice, especially this high up on the ladder. My opponent is top 100 right now. Like, that's definitely not something you expect. So really bummed that we aren't going to be able to see the team. I would have loved to see that, because Regice doesn't have a good match into Zacian. I mean, it does have a good match into Kyogre, Calyrex, and Xerneas due to its high special bulk, but interesting choice overall. But really good game to my opponent, and let's just keep rocking and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is an interesting mirror match. Tapu Fini with Calyrex, a Toxicroak, Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. Volcarona I like. I think Regieleki is very big, but I can't lead with it. Volcarona or Shifu? I think Volcarona or Shifu is a good option with Aleki and Calyrex in the back. Right? Weezing, I think, is risky. We are potentially... I mean, we are going to have to deal with screens, but Urshifu still KOs Calyrex through that. We do have good damage onto Tapu Fini. We do threaten with Volcarona with Struggle Bug. Swampert doesn't really do anything, especially with the Toxicroak. Weezing is nice, but probably not much either. Yeah, let's go with this. I think maybe... I don't know. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to trust my gut on this one and say... Oh, that's a really funny trainer card. All right, let's see it. Calyrex matches, or mirror matches, are always very, very scary. As we are going to see Calyrex Grimmsnarl. So Grimmsnarl does carry Fake Out. I think Volcarona can live. I mean, I don't expect to see the Calyrex stay in. And even if it does, we have Sucker Punch. So we can just Struggle Bug and Protect. Like I said, I don't know if we will be able to live in Astral Barrage. We're going to see the Fake Out. Yep, come into Urshifu. I'm obviously going to let that happen as Astral Barrage is going to come out. And like I said, I hope Volcarona can live this. It is bulky, but it doesn't have a ton of special defense. Survey says it does, which is huge, right? Because we are going to be able to Struggle Bug off and significantly do a reasonable chip into Calyrex. And I think given the fact that... so what we can do is we can Rage Powder in the event that they want to try and go for a Spirit Break and go for a Wicked Blow into a Protecting Calyrex, right? I'm not worried because of my Sash. So, because, right, you either switch out with Calyrex, in which case Volcarona will survive, or, yeah, we're going to see that. We are going to be able to get some good damage out with a Wicked Blow. Obviously not super, super much, but every little bit does matter. And redirecting into Volcarona is great, as we can go for a Protect the subsequent turn to stop the Fake Out, and then try and go from there. Yeah, we are going to see a Spirit Break come out from the... Oh, wow. That did a little bit more than I expected. Protect is going to come out into Volcarona. Volcarona taking just like a fair bit of chip, but nothing too much. We are going to obviously get the Rocky Helmet recoil. And what I want to do now is just go for a double Protect. I think while the screen setting up is unfortunate, like I do need to preserve Urshifu a lot, and I think even at this range, like, we should be able to get good damage. Obviously we can go for another redirect, and the question also now is what is in the back, right? I think if we can knock... I mean, oh no, we know no, because we saw Calyrex, so we don't actually know what the last Pokemon is. And I think that there are a lot of really scary options. Rillaboom would be lovely for some much needed recovery, but probably not going to see that. We are going to see the Fake Out come, into Urshifu, as we are going to see a Taunt come out from Volcarona. So, I'm just going to go for a Heat Wave because I don't think this Grimmsnarl has screens. So I'm going to go for that, as well as a Close Combat into Incineroar. And what I'm thinking, right, is... Yeah, we saw Taunt, we saw Fake Out, we saw Spirit Break. We're going to see Grimmsnarl withdraw, which is fine. Please be Rillaboom. It's going to be Tapu Fini, which is a little bit less than ideal, but we do have Regieleki. And if we can knock out Incineroar this turn, which I feel like we should, right? We're going for a Close Combat. There is no screen. And we should be in overall a really good position after that. Because your things left... I mean, we still obviously have things to be worried about. But because of the fact that you went for a switch with Tapu Fini, Tapu Fini's not going to get a hit off. And so what I'm thinking is, if you bring out Calyrex... Calyrex, we're fine. Grimmsnarl is a little bit tricky. We just went for an attack, so we can go for a Protect. If it's Calyrex, we go for a Wicked Blow. And because what's nice is we have what is it called? We have a Lecky in the back, so we have a way to get speed control onto their Calyrex, and we have seen that this Grimmsnarl does not have screens, so feeling very good. Yep, we are going to see the Grimmsnarl switch in, so I want to just go for a swap out into a Lecky. Let's go for a swap into a Lecky. I don't expect to see a fake out. And then what we can do is we can... no, because Feeney's going to go first, because I was going to say what we could do is we could go for redirection, but I want to just try and get some damage going with Grimmsnarl. I mean, with Regieleki. But seeing Tapu Fini, I know a lot of people have started running Light Screen on Fini over Grimmsnarl, so I'm expecting to see something like that. And I know that that was a choice that when I was building my Solgaleo team, I chose to put the screens on Grimmsnarl, and maybe there are obviously very good arguments for either, but we are probably going to see a fake out into the Urshifu slot. Yep, we're gonna see a fake out into Regieleki and maybe a Calm Mind come out from Calm Mind. Yep, we are gonna see Calm Mind from Fini. I do definitely want to go for a Thunderbolt into Fini for sure. Just trying to get as much damage as possible. Do we go for... Let's go for a Rage Powder. Rage Powder here, as well as a Thunderbolt into Fini. I could go for an Electro Web just to play it safe. I could Struggle Bug. What is Volcarona speed? Volcarona is 124, so it might actually outspeed certain variants of Fini. I'm going to go for a Struggle Bug as well as an Electro Web, just trying to chip away at both Grimmsnarl and Fini. Yeah, because we are going to see that Protect come out, so Rage Powder would have been ideal, but we can still chip away at Grimmsnarl. And what's nice is we do have access to what is it called? We do have Draining Kiss on Calyrex, so Grimmsnarl could be carrying Sucker Punch. That actually could be the last move. Oh, wow, interesting. Berry on Grim. We are going to see a Spirit Break come out into Regieleki. Makes sense. You do want to obviously try and reduce my damage output. I want to just once again go for a Struggle Bug, and now I want to go for a Thunderbolt onto this Tapu Fini. I think if we can significantly cripple it, we do have a good way of dealing it with Calyrex, obviously having access to Draining Kiss. But this, I mean, Astral Barrage 2, if we can get it low enough, is really important. But Tapu Fini is also really scary. We are going to see a taunt come out from Volcarona, which is totally fine. I want to go for damage this turn and try and cripple this Tapu Fini, as we do. I mean, we did critical hit, yeah. We do pick up a crit, which is definitely going to be very unfortunate, as we are going to be able to get off a Struggle Bug into this Grimmsnarl, which means that we can go for a drop onto their Calyrex with Electro Web, and I think from that point we will guaranteed, as long as we have a guaranteed beat onto them. We also do have Urshifu as backup, and I think with that we should be able to wrap this up, right? There in my mind isn't really a good out here, right? Because we can Heat Wave, and then we can go for an Electro Web, and as long as, like I said, the Electro Web hits, we are going to be in really... Oh. Last one is Scary Face. That changes things a lot. Okay. But that's fine, right? We can... You can't Prankster into Urshifu. Urshifu has a guaranteed live due to Focus Sash. So what we do is we protect Calyrex. Urshifu, we protect Calyrex. We Wicked Blow into what is it called? We're going to Wicked Blow into their Calyrex. We're going to protect our Calyrex. This guarantees the KO because they have Fake Out, which they can't go for. Spirit Break, they're not fast enough. Scary Face and Taunt. So we can do this very freely. We go for a Protect. We have no reason to worry about a Sucker Punch, and that means that we can Draining Kiss the subsequent turn while going for extra damage with Urshifu. So I think, yeah, that should wrap it up, right? We're going to see no Protect, or it could just be a speed tie. We're going to see the Scary Face, which is not going to work into our Calyrex. There is no reason, because of the fact that I do have a Sash on my Urshifu, to worry about this. We have seen, obviously, they have, what is it called? The Life Orb. We are going to be able to hold on. And from this point, yeah, we have a very clear KO with Wicked Blow. And then what we can do is we can Wicked Blow the Grimmsnarl and go for a Draining Kiss in the event that, I mean, it'll most likely live, but Grimmsnarl is not going to be able to KO Calyrex from this point. And I think that will definitely wrap up this last game, right? Because we can just click Close Combat's normally effective. Let's just do Close Combat, as well as a Draining Kiss on a Grimmsnarl. So yeah, overall, very, very good games. I think they were very tricky, but I think this really speaks to why do you live? I'm trying to do my outro. Okay, so Urshifu will pick up the last knockout. But overall, I think these were some very close games, some very scary games, and it really does speak to the power of Calyrex, right? It is a very hyper-offensive team, but at the same time, it can use the Pokemon available to really kind of slow things down and set up, and it's not always about leading Calyrex. I feel like some teams, that's what they'll do, right? Every time you'll see Calyrex next to Whimsicott, Calyrex, Whimsicott, Calyrex, Whimsicott, or like Calyrex with something else, and having the flexibility to say, no, I'm going to start with something else and then pivot out to Calyrex and like slowly chip down using things like Swampert really has made this team effective. But great set with this team. I'm looking forward to using, I think I'm going to use the Ho-Oh team starting tomorrow. So once again, if you haven't checked out my 5 rental teams, make sure you do, and check out my podcast as well. And until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.